Welcome to Transits Fridays, a special edition full moon eclipse, which is what we're going to be talking about here today in specific, because it is a partial eclipse, it is happening next Tuesday on the 17th. So it's really worth talking about that. So this is the major event of this week. And that's why I wanted to make this video today all about it. So it's important to me that you know about these energies and that you can use and um focus your energy into what you want to manifest with this full moon, what you want to let go as well, etc. So a couple of brainstorming informations first. So it is a full moon, so it is a culmination. So we have the sense of a culmination. It is also a partial eclipse, so that's also important to put into the mixture. Eclipses are very key moments in the transformation that we've already been going through. So there's something about a transformation that we've been dealing with, that we've been going through, that this full moon eclipse will be a peak, and it will also be bringing a lot of awareness to what needs to be gone, what direction we want to go with that, and things like that. It really is a kind of a very important place, a very important moment in the cycles within cycles. That's how I like to talk about astrology. So obviously within the cycles of growth and transformation and becoming our authentic versions as well, which is how I see life, really. That's, one of the key goals here, in my opinion, in my view. So this is an important key moment in that process. So let's dissect this chart together. So this is the chart, the exact moment of the full moon eclipse will be happening very late here in Brazil at 23:34. So obviously the houses, you can ignore it unless you're in São Paulo as well. But if you're around the world, somewhere else, the houses will change, the ascendant will change, etc. So don't pay attention to that too much. But the configuration of the planets will be exactly the same. So let's break it down a little bit. Let's have a look at all of the different, let's unpack, shall we, the chart of the full moon together. So first, the full moon will be happening in Pisces. So 25 degrees Pisces, it's where this full moon is going to be happening. And obviously, when I look at the full moon in Pisces, I'm immediately looking at that Neptune as well at 28. So they're quite close together. So there is a kind of a double whammy of Piscean energy for this full moon as well. So one of the things that will be under the spotlight here is spirituality, regaining a connection to the more watery realms of life with psychic abilities, intuition, emotions, compassion, forgiveness, all of those topics that are very much connected to what Pisces represent. Transcendence, dissolving boundaries. Now, dissolving boundaries for good or bad, we might come across situations where we can notice that our boundaries are unhealthy as well. And that's a kind of a Pisces shadow side. When there is too much merging, too much enmeshment between people, between us and other people, not being able to say no, when all we need to do is say no. So that moon Neptune will be bringing issues, situations, and things that will be clustering those flavors, if you will. I think that's also something that's represented by the transit, the long-lasting transit of Saturn in Pisces that we've been going through for a while, since March 23. And Saturn spends about 2.5 years in a sign. So that's something that on the long haul, we're dealing with anyways. We're learning lessons, Saturn, connected to Pisces, because Saturn is in Pisces for this time. So a lot of the things connected to these flavors of transcendence, of creativity, of divine inspiration, of boundaries, confusion, and etc. will be something that we're already dealing with for a while, and something that we've been taking more seriously for a while as well, because that's what Saturn requires from us. Take that sign seriously. Be honest and pragmatic about it as well. And that's an interesting thing because we're talking about Pisces, which isn't pragmatic, but it's having a pragmatic approach to all the things non-pragmatic, and to really embrace them as well in the best way that you can. There are some mysteries in life that are not meant to be revealed or discovered or explained. So something about life's mysteries there in the mixture. Anyway, I digress. Back to that moon, Neptune. So all of the Piscean flavors, and I think this is a wonderful time for the more spiritually inclined, for the people that want to do more of this work, that want to embrace that energy in day-to-day life. Day-to-day life will be represented by the Virgo planets. Yes. So I think because we have a duality, because the full moon is always in opposition, we also need to consider Virgo as well. And Virgo will be there in the mix saying, hey, a little bit with the pragmatic sort of energy. Hey, just, it makes me think of one of my yoga teachers. They used to say, too much of an open mind in your brain is scattered all over the floor. And obviously, he was a Virgo as well. So that's something that's important to take into consideration, because this is Virgo season. So it is a full moon eclipse in Pisces conjoined Neptune, but it's still Virgo season. So we're still organizing that, embracing that on our daily rituals, on our day-to-day life, trying to bring more balance as well in connection to that, so we can effectively serve. Service is also a very key word here with this full moon, because I do believe that Pisces is about higher service and Virgo is about service in general, service from a more practical point of view as well, or experience. So Virgo is also important there. And to bring balance in the duality, have you been favoring Virgo, the Virgo side of life, and rationalizing, analyzing, dissecting everything that happens to you? Or are you lost in the other side of the dichotomy, and you've been confused and not really having a sense of direction, not having any sense of discrimination or, selection of what you're going to do, right? So this is the balance here that we're being called to think, reflect, analyze, observe, feel it, right? So that's one of the key things here with this full moon happening in Pisces and the Virgo flavors as well. Obviously, the Virgo flavor is very strong, not just because the sun, because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Gemini. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which brings us back to Virgo. So again, is a Mercury in Virgo, that's the dispositor of the full moon. And that Mercury in Virgo is in opposition to Saturn. So again, I have this feeling of having more clarity around our spiritual beliefs, around the higher service that we want to perform, or that we were meant to be performing in this life. Creativity, our ability to go with the flow, our knowing without knowing. That's another one that I really think about when I think about Pisces. The tarot card connected to Pisces is the card of the moon. And I do have this card here, came up for me today. So the card of the moon is the Piscean as card associated by the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And there is something about navigating the darkness and the confusion of the moon by being more receptive. So there's something about being more receptive that's also part of this energy here. It's like, yes, having some discrimination with the Virgo energy and the Virgo planets, but also learning about there will be moments in life where it's not the rational mind that's well equipped to help you navigate. And an energy of Pisces and the moon card in the tarot kind of represent that. It's like navigating it with your sixth sense as well. So that duality is there, is very important, something that we're going to be called to. I personally feel that a lot in the last week. I've been reclaiming my yoga practice, and I feel like I've been in this sort of two-dimension world for a long time now. I've been putting courses together, writing manuals, and giving classes, and having to be really practical on the day-to-day. My Capricorn progressed ascendant was kind of pulling me into this realm, and I've been feeling a bit, mm, what about my spiritual side? So I've been reclaiming that with the yoga practice and meditation as well daily last week. And it's been really rewarding. And I do feel that that's a classic situation that is connected to what this full moon can be about. Now, looking into the chart of the full moon, there are a few clusters of planets that I really want to talk about. There are different configurations here that I really feel are important as part of the combination, as part of the eclipse energy. And again, eclipse energy is like crossing a tunnel. And in order to cross that, you need to leave something behind. You have to let go of some luggage that's really just weighing you down. So leaving something behind is also part of the picture here, something that you're not, a behavior, a job, a relationship, or, Bernadette Brady says that full moon eclipses usually manifest as actual events in our life. So it might be something that's actually happening around you, or there might be a need to act a little bit more as well. But obviously, there's no outer without inner as well. There's something in your inner life that's also ready to move on to the next phase. So, with that in mind, let's look at these different configurations. So, we have a kite with this full moon, and the point of the kite here is Neptune. Is that Neptune and the moon? So, we've got the kite involving Pluto at 29 Capricorn, Neptune at 28 Pisces, Uranus at 27 Taurus, and the Sun at 25 Virgo, right? Obviously, with that moon as well at 25 Pisces. Now, a kite is a configuration connected to growth, connected to evolution. It is a beautiful configuration to see as well. I find it fascinating when it happens. So I do think that there is something to do with growth, evolution, and obviously we're talking about collective evolution here because there's Pluto, there's Uranus, there's Neptune involved. The three transpersonal planets, the three outer planets. So they're really talking about big changes that aren't just about our personal lives. Our personal lives are a small fragment of the bigger transitions that we are witnessing and that we're going through. Now, interestingly, the three are retrograde as well. So we've got Neptune retrograde, Pluto as well, and Uranus as well. And they're about to move signs next year into the more yang fire signs, fire and air signs. So next year, Pluto will be back into Aquarius, Neptune will be moving into Aries, and Uranus will be moving to Gemini. So I really feel that this kite with the eclipse at this stage that we are right now at the end of the year is really talking about something that we need to review, that we need to get in touch with again, connected to security, because that's what the yin signs are about, security. They're much more security driven than the fire and the air signs. So emotional and material securities and values in our lives and connections and the ways that we do relationships and things like that, that we need to reconnect with something. We need to review, reassess something with this kite, with the planets being retrograde, that will be very important for whatever happens next year and forwards, right? So there's something about reclaiming, reconnecting, and it is about big changes as well. The big changes in our lives, but the big changes that will be reflected as a collective evolution and massive growth, right? That we're all part of as individuals. But the outer planets are always talking about something way major and bigger and more collective. So where have we been experiencing all those changes? That's when we place this kite in our charts. Where is Neptune transiting in your chart? Where is Uranus? Where is Pluto as well? Where is the full moon going to be falling in your chart? Because that's going to be reflective of your personal role and your personal change that is part of this great collective configuration, this great collective evolution that we are all sharing here now. So this kite is really important, really, really caught my attention. And it's like, Yes, reclaim that Pisces, but do it grounded. We've got ground trine in Earth planets, right? In the Earth element. It's saying feet on the ground, feet on the ground. Make sure that you're aligned with your values as well, and etc. But reclaim that sense of divine inspiration, that sense of the mystical, the spiritual, the subtle sides, the subtle dimensions of life, dreams. Reclaim your dreams as well. So that's what I really see in this kite. Now, there are a few more configurations as well that I see. And one of them is Mars in an almost exact square to the lunar nodes. So we've got the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra, and that Mars in Cancer there in the square. Again, I do feel there's something about aligning our actions with our emotions, with our sensitivity, with that Mars in Cancer. Actions that will be building containers, that will be building a sense of safety as well for us, and that will be part of this sense of evolution. Is a Mars in square to the lunar nodes. The lunar nodes are talking about evolution, right? Past life, next life, etc. So Mars in square to these nodes during at the moment of the eclipse does say, hey, this is a very important key karmic moment. And the actions that we'll be taking needs to be aligned with our emotions, with how we feel, with building containers for that, with being protective as well, of our space, of the people that we love, or, etc. Getting ready for the more yang energy next year. So really reclaiming this security within and around us so we can move forward and create new things next year. That's really a very, very strong feeling that I have. Also, Jupiter is not too far from a square to the sun and the moon here. So for me, that Jupiter in Gemini as an apex is also telling me we may gain a lot of knowledge through the experiences that we'll have from now, and during eclipse season as well. There is a lot of ideas, there's a lot of new ideas, of new intellectual inspiration that we can get. Writing, reading, just really taking notes about all of these things that we're going through. Learning something from it, really learning something. And potentially learning something that we can share with others after as well. Jupiter is generous. It's about Jupiter and Gemini is about sharing knowledge with others, right? And also, the last thing I wanted to talk about here in the chart is Venus Chiron in opposition as well. So we've got Chiron, Venus opposing each other in Aries and Libra. And this is also pointing out at wounds that will be connected to Venus. So wounds in relation to our values, in relation to our self-worth, in relation to how we do relationships. How do we say no? How do we say yes? How do we compromise? Right? Are the relationships that we have in our lives growth enhancing? Are they supportive of our individual growth? Aside Chiron, Aries, are they supportive of our healing journey as individuals? And that's something that's really important right now with Chiron, the North Node, in Aries, is our individual journey and who we are as separate individuals, right? So Venus in opposition to Chiron will be reflective of wounds that we might get in touch with during this full moon eclipse as well. But as usual, I really feel that those high energy, moments in astrological cycles are very important for us to enhance awareness, to be more aware, to see more things, to be able to observe, to see those triggers, to see the things that we're truly thankful and grateful for in our lives, to see the things that are really not enough for us as well, that we can move on from. That's just bringing suffering if we try to hold on to. So, all in all, I do feel it's a very intense chart, it's an intense full moon. That kite is really pointing out to something major that we're all individually going to be experiencing and contributing to the collective change. And so it's a very important time for you to meditate in these energies and to embrace them and see how they're manifesting in your life right now. I would love to hear from you and to know how this eclipse is panning out. What's happening? What house is the eclipse going to be falling for you? What is going on? How can you see the symbolism being expressed in your life? Right? I've got this amazing phrase, which I'm going to end the video today, but I've got this amazing phrase, which I think is really wonderful for this full moon eclipse, for this moon, Neptune in Pisces, and etc. And the Aries as well, North Node and Chiron Aries as well. So the phrase goes, there is something of God that can be expressed only by you, and that can be experienced by others only through you. So be you, right? So there is something of God that can only be experienced through you, can only be expressed through you. So I really feel this moon, Neptune in Pisces and the North Node in Aries is really reflective of a very big moment in connection to that. So that's it for today. I'm not gonna go around and, talk about the whole week, because this is the major thing that's happening this week and we need to get ready. We need to prepare ourselves. So get ready. Make the most of this very, very transformative energy. If you can get that day for yourself or an hour of that day for yourself, do it. Set intentions and really roll with this energy, because we can grow a lot. We can really move forward in a very powerful way. So that's it. I'll be seeing you all next Friday. I can't wait to see you. Take care. Have a wonderful, beautiful weekend. It's Friday 13th. And I'll see you soon. Mwah. Lots of love. See you soon.